a lot of times is, would stiffer criminal penalties help? Or is it better to, maybe have more funds allocated for enforcement on this front, or to have a statewide maybe task force? And I guess I would ask Don and Philip about their opinions on those questions.
I'll say for Texas, we've got 250 something different counties that all have different approaches. And I don't know if a state as large as Texas could do something like that. A smaller state perhaps could. In terms of the crime statutes, I know some states do not have something specific for real estate fraud or real estate theft. And in fact, you could say that Texas does not have something specific for real estate theft. But what we do have is our theft statute has multiple definitions for the key word in that statute, which is to appropriate. And one of those definitions does deal directly with anything dealing with title or other kinds of non-possessory interest, not just in real estate, but anything else like boats, cars, whatever. So we do have an approach in Texas, but we don't have specific punishment statutes for real estate fraud either. It's just matches with the rest of the theft statute, which is based on the value of the theft.
So Arizona is basically the same. We do not have a specific statute. We don't have some states have equity skimming statutes, which we do not have. But what we do have is something called fraud schemes, which is a Class 2 felony in Arizona. The other thing is that if you have the impersonation, like this case where I made the arrest, you also have identity theft. In this case, because of the amount of money that's involved, is an aggravated identity theft. So we do have charges that are pretty good that we can use in cases like this for the real estate frauds. As far as task force goes, I know Texas has a really good task force for gas pump and ATM skimming, because I deal with them. So a task force is always a good idea. If you can, the more people you can get involved in the in the scheme of trying to deal with this is a good thing. We kind of have a task force here because the Department of Real Estate has taken an interest in it, and they report, and then they report to the rest of the task force, which is me. So if I can get a few more people helping me, it would help, but I can focus almost strictly on these type of cases. And I can get cooperation from other law enforcement agencies to help. So that kind of works. That is always a good idea, to try to get as many people as possible involved.
Can I point out the reason that gas pump skimming task force in Texas has gained such traction is because of industry leadership, industry red flags, industry crying help. Even though, industry is one of the victims, but the other victims are individual people whose credit cards are used or whose accounts are drained, et cetera. But industry led that charge. And I think it's always important to remember in a government office, industry is an important partner. And so I hope that this audience can really take to heart the opportunity and the role that industry can play.